Welcome to a new episode of Security Insight with Dr. Cynthia Greg. Yeah. Okay, good to have you here again. The topic I'll be talking about today is security risk in collecting gifts. There are a lot of people who enjoy being gifted. They like people gifting them. They like collecting gifts from people. Even when people don't give, they go asking for the gift. They've been used to gaining things from people. You see, collecting gifts has taken a different dimension. It's a different meaning has been given to it with developments here and there in recent times. It's common knowledge how people are falling victims to unsuspecting kidnappers, to criminals, and dangerous people due to their attraction to gifts, due to their attraction to freebies. We're not talking about children here. We're talking about real adults. Yes, it's common when children, run to meet big uncles, sisters, aunties, other mummies, neighbors, friends to say, oh, please, give me gift, give me this, give me money, I want to buy biscuit, or dash me money for sweet, or something. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about as a way of life of people who just enjoy, they just like collecting, they just like collecting things from people. They are not givers, they are collectors. They don't give, they collect. So I want us to talk about the security risk with such attitude. The security risk of always wanting people to gift you, not ever willing to gift people. Just yesterday, somebody was sharing a news of a case, an incident of kidnapping somewhere in the States, where a trader and two of his friends were selling something to a customer, somebody who has always come to buy products from him. Now, these two of his friends are those who hang around to source for customers for the trader. So the two friends know this particular customer as a customer who has been coming to buy things from this particular trader. So when they saw the man, they ran to him to say, bros, welcome, and then in their usual way of receiving him and encouraging him to buy, he bought a few things, he paid, and as usual, the guy said, uncle, what do you get for us today, and he said, come in. I've been giving you guys change. Today I'm not going to give you change. I have something special for you. Something special for you turned out to be a different development. Entirely. They hop into the vehicle. He took them far into a community. They trusted so far because the customer has been coming to buy things from that their friend trader. And then, to just summarize this story, they fell into the hands of a ritualist. The man drove them into the bush, told them when they become uncomfortable, he told them he was taking them to his site. That actually wants them to see his site where he's building. This ritualist took them into the bush, joined them with other victims of theirs, and then the rest is story. One of these two guys eventually died, and one of them was rescued. So it was the one that lost, the second one who they took a part from his body, survived the ordeal, and was the one narrating the story of how they had followed him from one side to another and eventually landed in the hands of other ritualists. See, there are other scenarios here and there where people are falling victims to kidnapping, to ritual killings, due to that weakness, that greed of always wanting to collect money, always wanting to collect gifts, always wanting to collect something from people. These are people who are hungry, people who can never be, who are never satisfied, who are never contented with what they have. It has a lot of security implication. You need to be extra careful. The times are bad with so much tension of insecurity hovering everywhere, in developed cities, in underdeveloped communities, in developing communities. They are everywhere. There is no better time to be careful than now. When people without your prodding want to be kind to you, you need to be extra conscious, because the kindness may be to extract information from you, going away from even the risk aspect of being exposed to kidnapping, being exposed to ritual killings, being exposed to other hazards. The commonest one is where people want to show you kindness just to pick information from you. That is very common in the kind of work we do. People tend to be nice to you. People tend to be kind to you. People tend to even want to share information with you. In these guys, we call them espionage. They come for espionage. Some kindness are with motive, while some kindness are truly genuine. Don't twist this video. Don't twist the message in this conversation. Don't twist it. I am talking about those kindness that have motives. So there is no doubt they are genuinely kind-hearted individuals in the society. I am one of them. But I still take it lest I fall. How do con men, the 419s, how do they get their victims? By showing kindness. They throw kindness at you. They throw kindness at their unsuspecting victims. They attract you with what they know you'll be attracted to. And then by the time you have been bought over, you become their victim and you lose out big time. Do you actually know how these people perceive you? How they perceive you that makes you their target? There is nobody who perceives you as a target that sees you as somebody who is intelligent. How do they perceive you as their target? There is a perception of who they think you are. Because if they know that you know beyond what they know, they won't throw such offers at you. So now I want you to know how they actually perceive you. They see you as a very gullible person. A collector is a gullible person. They see you as a greedy person. They see you as a never contented person. They see you as someone who can eat crumbs. Someone who they see you as someone who likes remnants. Someone who is like a beggar. They see you as a beggar, in fact. While some perceive you as those who are hopeless, some perceive you as those who are helpless. And let me tell you, those who perceive you as an hopeless person cannot actually give you hope. And those who perceive you to be helpless can't help you. They can't give you help. But they use you for their selfish interest because you've decided to make yourself a vulnerable tool to their antics. I want you to know that people who are attracted to being gifted are more vulnerable to being defrauded. Listen to me and take it again. Those people who are attracted to being gifted are more vulnerable to being defrauded. If you are the kind of person that you are susceptible to gifts, you can't say no to somebody who is offering you certain kindness. You can't interpret, you can't understand where it's coming from. What do I do to merit this gift? What do I do to merit this kindness? You can't think. You are just, open to collect. I collect. I want you to know that you are more vulnerable to being defrauded. And that is why many of you who are defrauded by people are those who want to gather people's what is not their own. How do you expect to reap from where you do not sow? You actually need to ask yourself, if you continually become a victim to these fraudsters, you need to check yourself. You need to actually check yourself. That means you are open to what you don't merit. You are expecting what should not be your own. So when people know you to be that kind of person, they will continue to deceive you to get the little you have and defraud you. They will continue to scam you. You need to avoid being a collector at all times. I'm not saying collecting is wrong, but don't be the collector in all situations. Don't be the one that is always receiving, always receiving. If you continue to be the receiver, people will offer you remnant one day. People will gift you with remnant one day. People will gift you with sacrifices. They will give you sacrifice one day because they know anything they throw at you, you will collect and you will eat. They will give you sacrifice. They will give you remnant. You need to up your game. You need to up your value. That when truly you are making that request, people can tell that this is a genuine request. What I'm sharing with you is not only security advice that can save you and your loved ones from attack, but also something that is of good moral to your family, to your loved ones. It's a security information, it's a security education. You will learn from it, but it has a lot of morals. A lot of morals for our young ones, a lot of morals for our children. When your children see that you are the kind of parents that will always collect from people, the kind of parents that always gather where they are sharing things and be collecting things you don't know their source, your children will start learning such habits from you. So when people ask them, why do you like collecting gifts from people? They'll say, my mommy used to collect, that's why I'm also collecting. That is the moral in what I'm talking about. So don't teach our youngsters bad morals. In fact, as a matter of emphasis, it is also supported biblically. In Acts chapter 20 verse 35, that it is more blessed to give than to receive. It is more blessed to give than to receive in Acts chapter 20 verse 35. While it is not a bad idea to collect gifts from people, you must be conscious. You must ask yourself, how do I merit this gift? You must be security conscious. You must be wary. You must be aware. You must be careful. We must teach our children not to be open to give that they see from everywhere and we begin to collect. We must be careful what we actually do where our children are gathered. We must take heed lest we fall. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Security Insight on the security consciousness of not being a collector at all times, not being a receiver at all times, being a blessing to people, being the one that shares, that gives to people. If you continually be a collector, you become vulnerable to people. You'll be defrauded. You'll be scammed. Fraudsters will know you and they'll keep coming to you and they'll keep defrauding you. That informs why some of us have not been scammed. It's hard to scam some of us because we don't want to collect from where we don't sow. We don't even where we sow. When you give us, we'll say, I did it without expecting. You don't do it to get anything in return. No. So please let us be careful. Let us be extremely careful how we go about being attracted by gifts. Let's be careful. We're not hungry people. Don't be an hungry man. Don't be an hungry man. If not, you fall into the hands of con men. You fall into the hands of fraudsters. You fall into the hands of scammers.